Okay, it's imperative that we water these bags wet because a tree must go into a wet bag, otherwise the roots will immediately dry out. So we give it a bit of water like this, and they're ready now for us to make holes in which to plant every single little tree. So we make a nice hole like that on the big side so that the roots can easily get planted in. Now we fill a bucket up with water, because these little trees here, once we take them out, they're going to lie here in the water so that their roots don't dry out. Now we're going to show you how to remove the trees from the bag. We squeeze the bag a little bit like that just to loosen the soil. Then we hold it at the bottom. It's got a little sleeve. We tilt it over and the whole bag comes out like that. Then we place all of these little trees in the water like that. It's very important that you don't hurt the roots when you do that. Now you're going to separate each tree from one another, and here you've got to be just careful when you do that. And then so the critical thing here is not to break the roots. All right, now we're going to take the individual trees and we're going to plant them into the ready-made holes in the bag. Okay, so we drop the root in the hole and we just push the soil up against it so that the soil's making contact with the roots. Let's do another one. Put that in there like that. Try and get the root in the ground, and you close the soil around the root. All right, now the tree will definitely have a little bit of transplant shock. You can do another one. It'll have a bit of transplant shock. It will show for about maybe a day or two, and then it will perk up again and your tree will be on the grow. Now these trees have just been transplanted and you can see they're in a real transplant shock. Now this will be for, maybe 2 or 3 days, and then they'll perk up. Now I'll show you some photos of trees that have been transplanted in the same way, and they're now already a week and a half in their new bags. Now these trees have all been transplanted, and look, they're looking healthy as can be. So it does take, and here's some more here, it does take about 2 or 3 days, and then they perk up again. Now a tree this size is about 10, 20, 30, it's almost size. Maybe when it gets to about there, it's going to be ready to be transplanted. See, it's already got a nice thick stem, so it's going to be able to fend for itself against most elements. So if there's a cricket or a grasshopper, it'll take a few of its solar panels off, but the tree will be fine. There's enough leaf left for it to produce photosynthesize and cause growth. Okay. Here's a nice sandy soil. It's actually a very good soil, this. It can be sandier than this, to be honest, because you could actually overwater them and then they could rot. We have had that. So your soil can definitely be sandier than this. And the best way to actually determine whether you need to water again is to pick the bag up and to look on the underside. And if it's dry on the underside, hard and dry, then you know it needs to be watered. Over here, the water could be still moist, or you can push your finger right in. And if it's moist all the way down, then it's fine. You can't keep on watering it. It will develop root rot. It likes to dry out a bit. But the best way is to feel it at the bottom to see if it's dry there or not.